Hey, it's Jeff again. I want to do a video on a methylation cycle. When the human body comes under stress, disease, toxins, or radiation, it uses a specific process which is run by our genes to fix or rid the problem. One of these at a time is easy to deal with for the human body. Once these start to compile, the body starts to age and can't keep up with itself. If more and more of these keep compiling, the body breaks down super fast. The process is called methylation cycle. Our genes make methyl groups and use them to fix these problems that occur in our daily lives. To produce methyl groups effectively, it is best to go easy on the system via hygiene, healthy foods, keeping toxins out of the body, obviously, right? Well, stress from daily life is very hard on the system. Feeling lonely is the number one stressor in the human experience. Further, these methyl groups turn genes on and off. They can make extreme changes in one generation. Some genes are responsible for the production of these methyl groups. If those genes get turned off, then disease or cancer or ED may be turned on because the manufacture of DNA is slowed. One will become foggy or slowly become autistic. Autism is not being able to judge how others feel or can't understand the outside world to connect with one's internal world. Asperger's or bipolar are other disorders that can occur when methyl groups can't be produced in the right amounts. DNA viruses are especially hard on this system. Methyl groups sit on the DNA viruses to stop them from hijacking a cell. There are 50 trillion cells in the body, only 20,000 genes. Methyl groups have to keep it up for your entire life. All of this genetic info and viruses gets passed down generation after generation and compiles. Methyl groups are involved in almost every reaction in our bodies, billions of times per second. Without proper methylation, there is increased vulnerability to viruses, impaired attention span, and less efficient nerve transmission. Other important things that methyl groups do are repairing and rebuilding RNA and DNA, immune function, digestive issue, DNA silencing, neurotransmitter balance, metal detoxification, inflammation, membrane fluidity, energy production, protein activity, myelination, and cancer prevention. Some bad things that occur when methylation groups are impaired are aging, allergic reactions, Alzheimer's, anxiety, arthritis, autism, bipolar disorder, bowel dysfunction, cancer, CFS-FM, CFS/FM, chronic bacterial infections, chronic viral infections, cytoskeletal breakdown, and diabetes, Down syndrome, heart disease, herpes, Huntington's disease, language and cognition impairment, leaky gut, metal toxicity, miscarriage, mitochondrial disease, neural tube defects, pneumonia, paralysis, renal failure, Rett syndrome, schizophrenia, seizures, sleep disorders, systemic lupus, erythematosus, thyroid dysfunction. It's a lot of shit. Methyl groups also are responsible for trinucleotide repeats. It is supposed to copy bases in threes. It is supposed to copy bases in threes. If under methylation occurs, it randomly makes 1,000 bad copies, which messes up DNA copies, which makes one vulnerable to more problems. A great analogy to methyl groups is the ice wall in the Game of Thrones, keeping life in and keeping death and disease out. The black watch is the methyl groups keeping death out. Essential amino acids are actually made in the gut by bacteria. There are genes in the gut that tell a bacteria to make amino acids. Amino acids are made from bacteria in our guts. Repeat that. Bacteria in our guts are killed by GMOs or the Roundup in the genetically modified foods. They feed animals these GMOs and then we eat the animals, unless you go organic. 44% of Europeans had, so these GMOs and the Roundup and stuff is called glyphosate, which is in the meats if they're being fed that stuff. So 44% of Europeans had glyphosate in their urine from GMOs, and they live in Europe. Somehow it is getting into their food supply. This was in 2013. Europe has strict rules and still has it in their culture. Neurotransmitters contain amino acids groups. Neurotransmitters allow us to express our humanity. All neurotransmitters are derived from aromatic amino acids, like phenylalanine, tyrosine, tryptophan, and the thyroid hormones that, let's start over with that. All neurotransmitters are derived from aromatic amino acids, like phenylalanine, tyrosine, tryptophan, and the thyroid hormones by the means of action of aromatic amino acid decarbolase enzymes. Whew. If your neurotransmitters are not balanced, you will not be able to express who and what you are. By knocking out amino acids, you directly affect your ability to express your humanity and be normal. By normal, I mean not an animal. Methylation is required for the synthesis of monoamine neurotransmitters and the function of postsynaptic receptors. Humanity revolves around methylation and amino acids. Amino acids are methyl groups through the body to the neurotransmitters. Start over with that one. Amino acids carry methyl groups through the body to the neurotransmitters. So heavy metals from vaccines and chemtrails in our environments knocks out methyl groups, and glyphosate from GMOs knock out amino acids. Almost 100% of amino acids are made in the gut, not from the diet. Serotonin is one of the serotonin is one of the transmitters made by the combo of methyl groups and amino acids. Serotonin balances testosterone and cortisol. If you knock serotonin out, you have a completely different human being in front of you, probably sick as well. There is no empathy left, no remorse. A person like this could stab you and just walk away, no problem. Inhumane. Most medications kill off enzymes. There's 3,500 different types of enzymes. Enzymes are life. So GMO, vaccines, chemtrails, and stress are knocking down the wall of the methylation. Soon 5G with its small, intense EMF waves are going to add to this list. And lots of people are excited about 5G. Basically, it's a microwave technology, 50 to 300 millimeter microwaves. Let's turn our cities into giant microwaves and then hook them up to AI, which could then cook us if it wanted to. What the heck, you know? All this is going to be passed on the next generation via our DNA. Vaccines are full of heavy metals. Please watch the video in the link below. Thank you for informing us, Dr. Graham Downing, via YouTube. You can fix this with diet and detox. P.S. GMO GMO cotton has glyphosate in it, like tampons, clothes, cotton balls, etc. 1 part per trillion can cause cancer, not 1 part per million, 1 part per trillion. In my opinion, if the plug gets pulled, people are going to die. What is the plug? Drugs, social media, etc. It's the last straw for this methylation stress factor. I quit people that were mentally and emotionally abusive, and I got seriously sick, and I was very healthy at that time. So methylation is super important. It's getting knocked out by the GMOs and regular food. So if you're not going organic, you're killing off your bacteria in your gut, which makes amino acids, which supports your neurotransmitters, which are basically serotonin. But you got endorphins, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and cortisol. And of course, cortisol likes to wreak havoc, so your best bet is to try and go organic and do a couple fasts so that you get all these heavy metals out of your system. I hope this was beneficial to somebody. Have a great day. Bye.